All right, it is officially back to school, and it is a crucial time for parents to stay vigilant and recognize any warning signs in kids. Substance abuse disorders are on the rise among young people, with the American Addiction Center reporting 1 in 7 young adults is affected by this. And here to talk more on how you can keep your kids safe, we have crisis counselors. You guys have been experts in this. Crisis coach Scott Silverman, youth drug prevention educator Rocky Herron. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. First day of school for San Diego Unified, next week's Poway Unified, so really, really important topic. Dive into your backgrounds a little bit, and then we'll get into addiction and what parents can do to help out.
Why don't you go first, because you have a much more interesting background than I do.
Well, I was a DEA special agent for 31 years.
Wow, okay.
Most of my career here in San Diego. And 17 years ago, I discovered that my own kids weren't getting any drug prevention education in schools.
Okay.
And a number of the young people I was arresting in addiction had never been warned about the hazards of using drugs. So 17 years ago, I started teaching in schools. And now it's my full-time job as a retired DEA agent, teaching any population that'll listen about the risks of substance abuse today.
Okay. Your background a little bit?
I grew up here in San Diego and had my own story of crashing and burning, tried to take my own life and got into treatment, and I'm in long-term recovery. All goes well. This November, I'll be celebrating 40 years of continuous sobriety, and I run Confidential Recovery. We're an outpatient program and a Veterans Navigation Center serving veterans who have issues with substance use disorder and behavioral health components.
What are some of the red flags that parents listening to this right now should be on the lookout for?
One of the arguments I give to parents is persistent changes in behavior. I mean, any kid going through adolescence is going to have emotional ups and downs and temporary changes.
Yeah.
But one of the patterns I've seen over my life is that kids who get into regular substance abuse manifest persistent changes. And parents are in denial. I was in denial, right? My own kids were impacted by substance abuse. And you don't want to really believe your kid might be doing it. But if you see persistent changes in school, in friend groups, in sleep, in energy levels, in anger, the kids will lie. The kids will make up excuses for what's going on, and it's a parent's job to know the kid well enough and to not take those lies and dig deep to try to find out what's the true cause of those changes.
And what I would add to that is parents, as parents, we think we're scholars. You know, well, I've been through it. We've raised you. I had a mom, dad, or somebody who showed me the way. And my attitude is, as a parent, if you can listen, you know, what is that saying? God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I actually, and I do interventions and I do family navigating. And one of the things I try to sometimes tell parents is just shut up.
Yeah.
If you can be quiet and you can listen, and how do you start the conversation? Ask a question. Just say, I read in the news today, I hear there's things going on. Can you educate me? And your kids will empower you, because the knowledge that a 5 or 6-year-old has today, they didn't have, you know, my day was 16, 17, 18. In those days, drugs were like hemp, you know, marijuana was like rope. Today, it's got 90% THC in it. So when a kid exposes themselves to drugs today, God forbid it's fentanyl, that, you know, or marijuana that's laced with fentanyl, there's an overdose that happens, accidental overdose. And I didn't believe in that until about 10 years ago when I heard that statement really become a big one. And as a former, you know, drug addict, if you will, or drug user, never would I have taken too much. That was my goal, to take too much. So the person who has the disease of addiction, it needs to be handled differently, but the general population of children just needs someone to listen to in a way that they haven't maybe before. And put the phone down for a couple of minutes, because that's a whole new science of addiction coming around now.
Absolutely.
Social media. We saw that during COVID.
Yeah, and it's not just, there's no specific age group anymore. There's no socioeconomic, geographical area, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no family is safe from this. Anybody watching right now, I'm sorry to tell you, it doesn't matter where you live, where your kids go to school, how good a parent you are.
Right.
The culture of surrounding our kids all day, every day, still tells them drug use is normal, part of growing up, part of being an adolescent. Too many adults think it's just something that kids do. The challenge is the drugs today are much more dangerous than they were just a few years ago.
One mistake can be deadly,
One mistake could be deadly, which is terrible, but far more people become addicted very rapidly from just a few uses. That didn't used to happen. The drugs today are so powerful that addiction is coming much more quickly. So even if you don't have that tragic fatal incident, your kid may lose their dreams and their chances in life. And if you're, as a parent today, not focusing on that, it could be a hard road for you and your family.
Rocky, can you tell our folks at home how they can get in touch with you, learn more about your background?
Yeah, I lecture all over the place in San Diego and around the world. I have a website, rockyherron.com, ROCKYHERRON.com.
Okay.
And on there, I have educational videos.
All right, Scott, yours before we run to break?
Easy to find me, just Scott H. Silverman. You know, Google me or call me, 619-993-2738. Call me, text me. If I can help you with your family and navigate, we'll do it.